Okay, what you're about to see took the web by storm. 7 million hits in 1 week, and it's not hard to understand why either.
It showed people flying through the skyline of New York City, but were they real? Probably not. So who were they? What were they? Daily Planet decided to get to the bottom of it in the Big Apple itself.
They caught the eyes of New Yorkers.
The people who looked at it were, just their jaws dropped. The reaction was amazing.
Then this video caught the eyes of millions around the world.
Did I realize that it was going to turn into a worldwide viral phenomenon? No, I wasn't ready for that, but it's certainly exciting.
So this is a shaving helmet.
Any last words, Kenny?
We're talking about viral marketing with a tech spin.
It work? Yeah.
Now this is my video repeater.
That's all Thinkmodo does.
What we do is create very interesting scenarios that get people's attention, and then we shift that attention to a product, a service, a movie, a magazine.
This time, it's all about a movie.
20th Century Fox gave us the script for Chronicle. We read it. We were really intrigued by the fact that these 3 teenagers have superpowers, but the superpower that intrigued us most was the fact that these 3 guys could fly. So we said, why don't we create 3 flying people? They said, great, we love it. And then we looked at ourselves and said, now what do we do?
Enter Gary Graf, remote control pilot extraordinaire and inventor of the quad and octocopter.
My hobby is radio control aircraft. I fly remote control quadcopters and octocopters.
Gary has been at the controls of some amazing flying things for 30 years. He had no idea he'd be gearing up to fly people until he got the call from James.
He told me what he wanted to do. I told him I could handle it.
He instantly got what we wanted. We told him our time frame, and he was the only one who didn't flinch. So we said, you're hired.
And a day or so later, I had the kits at my door, and I figured, okay, they're regular aircraft kits. I should be able to do 3 of them in a week if I put 15 hours a day in for 7 days. I realized that they were going to need a lot of work just to get them to do what Thinkmodo wanted them to do.
Because we're going to be landing this thing on Earth, not a giant marshmallow. So this is going to be hitting the ground.
With movable parts, these super light Dapron foam cutouts needed mechanical precision.
These calves and the arms here act as elevons. So when you want to pitch the nose up, these elevons will rise, and when you want to roll, they'll actually go the opposite way, and that gives you roll, and you'll get a corresponding movement in the hands.
Piecing the people together was only half the challenge.
Where do you see the most vulnerable points on this?
This is the problem, and I'll show you on the videos.
Keeping them together meant some creative tinkering.
I used carbon fiber rods to help stabilize the head here. I wanted to stabilize the antennas coming out, and so I used little straws that I got off of one of my kids' little juice bags. Tape to help reinforce it. Over here we have a 75 amp speed control. Sends power to the motor. I power the craft using 3,000 milliamp packs in these because we didn't need really long flight times.
Time to see just how long these super light stuntmen could stay in the air.
We had 3 guys. Gary was the lead, and they practiced at a strip in Long Island for 3 days until they got it right.
Unless you're really careful in landings, they break a lot.
It's like taking it and throwing it on the ground.
It's like flying a potato chip. So after every flight, they had to be repaired and, just basically kept alive for the shoots. We got up 4:30 in the morning, made sure everything was ready, loaded the planes into the van, made sure I had all my equipment, drove out there, got set up.
There were so many chances for this thing to go wrong.
On shoot day, actors finally got their hands on the controls.
The motor and the propeller produced about 7 pounds of thrust. And you can see in some of the shots when the actors were hand launching them, they weren't experienced at launching. And, one of the guys launches it almost straight up, but that's the way it goes.
Luckily, there were no crashes. and no takedowns.
In New York, obviously, there's a big sensitivity to flying objects, but in this case, they moved so gracefully and so slowly.
They looked so cool flying together.
People, yes, did think that they were real.
It was very exciting.
Exciting for Gary and hugely successful for Thinkmodo.
7 million views in the first week, and that's just on YouTube and just our YouTube site.
Proof that with a little technology, the right team can make magic.
Without Gary and a guy who in his basement could fabricate things like this, it wouldn't have happened.
I'm just so excited about what we were able to accomplish. And I just love pushing the limits.
Everything we do is tech, and he's Mr. Tech, so it's a perfect fit.
One that has Gary and James already planning their next viral hit.